Well, this is a live stream. It's a kind of a new approach. Over the last 15 years, we've been doing broadcasts under Watchman News, primarily with just audio. Now we're going with a bit of video and a bit of a better look, sharing information, so on and so forth. So I hope it's a blessing to you. We're going to give a few minutes for people to get in on the live stream. We're syndicating out on several platforms from Twitter to Facebook to YouTube. Several of our channels on Facebook that have had 15 years of building up our audience and so on and so forth. It's not out to our whole email list at this stage, but we're getting things up and running on the new channel. So I hope it's going to be a blessing to you. Our topic today is going to be on not selling your heritage. We're going to get into what it means and mostly what the legal words are about heritage. I think a lot of people are going to be set free today. We're going to get into a deep dive that a lot of people have not really even thought of our people have been blinded to not think about our heritage in this way for more than 100 years. Okay. And there was a lot more peace and a lot more working together. If you look what was going on, there was no World War I happening, and so on and so forth. You look, 100 years ago, give or take, you're going to see a wonderful situation as we get you back into it. All right. So let's give a few more minutes. We got all the different platforms coming online. Okay. And now we'll bring up the main graphic of what we're covering here on standrewsocc.org. You have a main graphic here that is called the National Liberty. Okay. And this covers just about everything. And if you really get into this, what our forefathers considered heritage and what it meant in all of our songs and national texts and prayers and so on and so forth, what all that meant and what it meant in the 1960s and what it meant in the 1990s when people were stripped of their heritage because they were not Caucasian white. Okay. What continued as Supreme Court precedents even up into the 1960s, up until the 1990s, where if you were not a natural born white, you could be stripped of your citizenship. And we have plenty of those examples, as you can see, all in this Tree of Liberty analysis. So interracial marriage was considering treason in our laws of America. Okay. And it continued with Supreme Court precedents. Okay. Which said basically, and this is the law of the land. We have also state constitutions. Up until the year 2000, Alabama had the state constitution that if at any time in the future that anyone would, it was a crime to, at any time in the future, to legalize interracial marriage. Okay. That it banned if anyone, that was considered insurrection. Okay. If anyone in the future would try and break Alabama's constitution. Okay. That is the definition of insurrection, is when you conspire to break a constitution or you conspire to overthrow the law of the land. Okay. So in Alabama till the year 2000, it says in the Constitution that you could at no time in the future pass a law or work towards passing a law that would legalize interracial marriage. Okay. And that remained the Constitution. And if we are truly United States, just like there were more than 40 some odd states that also banned interracial marriage, 28 of those states call it a felony, which means you can get 10, 20, 30 years in jail, depending on the other matters surrounding it. But it's a major crime. Okay. And always was in America for 90% of our existence, more than 90% of our existence. Our heritage was understood as you don't give it to the enemy nations. Okay. And this is what we've been blinded from. So this is good news of truth, where you learn what we truly have as our heritage, what came from God. heritage, as we know, is not only our, as it says here in the Webster's Dictionary, um, estates and lands, also our rights. Okay. All right. So you can go through this quite a bit in our Tree of Liberty analysis. And we're going to be camping out on this whole area here and doing several live streams on the topic. So I really think it's going to be a blessing as we get into it. So God bless those who have come into the chat room here and who are joining on the live streams. Okay. I think we're about ready to get started. I think I'll get ready. So basically, we're talking about not to sell your heritage. Now, there are those who are brainwashed to think that we should just give away our rights and let it be trampled under the rights of others. Now, what is a true right? Well, our forefathers called them inalienable rights from the Creator. Now, there's a difference between that and what's called the unenumerated rights. Okay. That means they didn't come from the Creator. What's enumerated is what's come from the Creator, which is from God, which is His law. Okay. And it says from the Creator, for His nature, for His creation. All right. And if we're going to start making new things that are not found in any dictionary, make a new gender. You got like 20 different kinds of gender. Those are unenumerated rights, which it says even in the latest Supreme Court decision less than a year ago in the overturn of Roe versus Wade, is called the Glucksberg test, which says anything that's not deeply rooted in the history and the traditions of the country, that it is not a right. Okay, that means you can go into any court, any single court, county, city, state, federal. Is when the Supreme Court just said that, you can go anywhere and get your lawsuit heard. Okay, you can sue if anyone has taken your heritage, anyone's taken your inheritance, your law. So yeah, that's why they had scrambled like crazy to try and pass a law that would legalize interracial marriage. Just in the last 2 months, they passed what's called the Respect for Marriage Act. I think it was less than 2 months ago. They passed this Respect for Marriage Act, which says in there that any state that basically tried to ban interracial marriage. Okay, here we are in the year 2023. Okay, so everybody come back to reality here. It says here in this law passed in 2023 that basically that it is illegal to have interracial marriage until they pass this law in 2023. Okay, so let's get back to reality. This is our heritage. Why? Because the biggest way to get, it's a loophole, to give your heritage to foreign people. It's called taking the inheritance in your birthright, your heritage, your estates, okay, and handing it over so that a whole other line gets it, which is called a non-posterity community. We're teaching about this, a non-posterity community, okay? The heritage that's in our teachings of all of our laws of our people, okay? Common law for the land that is the foundation of what's good for the whole world, is understood just basic in any place in the world. They teach this, okay? They're trying to overthrow reality itself. They want to make new genders, for crying out loud. I mean, let's just have fun. I mean, the truth is great. And, let's realize, hey, we do have a winning case. Maybe we should kind of joke around about it. I admit, maybe I should be a little bit more humorous about the whole thing, because it is pretty awesome and pretty great in our favor. We should give thanks to our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, and His Son, Yeshua. And so, well, it's just an amazing thing that we have all of the law on our side. Okay. In the year 2023, the Pessoa law says that you cannot ban anyone in any state that would try and enforce their laws against interracial marriage. This is the text of the law. Any state under the color of law would restrict interracial marriage. Why do they do that? So it doesn't take our heritage and pass it on to non-posterity communities. Yes. Why do I say non-posterity? What do you mean non-posterity? Well, look in the Supreme Court precedents. Look up through the 1960s. Look to the year 2000. Look throughout all the laws of the land. And we have these itemized for you in this wonderful graphic, which we're going to get into, called the Tree of Liberty Analysis site, standrewsc.org. And you can see quite a bit. Look at the footnotes, okay? Spend some time on that and study it. I can't just totally get into that all right now. Now, as we have time, and we're going to do more of these live streams, we're just going to focus in on some of these wonderful aspects. I think I'll grab, a few at the moment, okay? But basically, 28 states continue to keep interracial marriage a felony, and you have what's called the Naturalization Act, okay, which I highlighted here. Where is it? And here we go, the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our, okay. Certain inalienable rights, okay. Liberty and life. So if saying that our heritage or our posterity don't have right to life, that goes totally against the Constitution. So that's a right that we have. It's called the posterity communities have a right, okay. That's a certain inalienable right from the Creator, okay. But if they want to take our tree, uproot it, say we don't have that right, now that's insurrection against the Constitution. Okay, the unenumerated rights, where they want to say there's a third and fourth gender, maybe 20 different genders, those aren't enumerated in our Constitution. So, like I said in the Glucksberg test last year, the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. It just says, hey, it's not deeply rooted in the history and the traditions of our people, so it is not a right. It's not a guaranteed right. So yeah, they had to take this whole Supreme Court at its face value of that and go ahead and pass a law that said interracial marriage is now illegal and sodomy is now legal. They literally couldn't do it. So you can go through this wonderful little article here and really camp out on it. And I think it'd be a great blessing to anybody who would really like to share. Just share out the graphic here. Okay. If you can't see it, I believe you can expand. Let's see, copy image address. Let's see here. And we're going to get into the Bible verse about what God says heritage could be. Because basically we are his heritage. Okay, we are God's heritage. So anything God is his heritage. And it says in Ephesians 1:8, the eyes of your understanding being enlightened, that you may know what is the hope of his calling, and what the riches of the glory of his inheritance in the saints. Okay. That's the riches of his glory. Now here you go. It's a little bit larger here. You can zoom in quite a bit. I mean, you could take that and you can print this thing out. Okay. Circulate it around. Now, I think it's a little bit, let me see if I can get that on the screen for you. No, it just pops out the whole thing from the video. So there's got to be a way. Let's try this. Shrink it down or move it to the side. That also doesn't work. To know these new tools, and this has really just been like, off the cuff quick live stream to see how we can get this all going. All right. Well, if you all get this out into people's hands, I think you'll see the true meaning of liberty, the true meaning of heritage, the true meanings of what it all meant for our people to be able to have the freedom of life, liberty, also freedom of association, freedom of property. These are all the things that are under assault right now, that we can't have real inheritance to pass down to the posterity. Now, posterity, okay? So if it was illegal for anyone to be naturalized until like year, was it 58 or 68? It was fully illegal until 1952, okay? And then till 1952, only whites can become naturalized. And then the fraudulently placed in 14th Amendment totally invalidated itself, as it was all at gunpoint, and the states couldn't vote on that 14th Amendment. That in there said that anyone from other races who are already in America could, at that stage, won't be discriminated if they want to become what's called a federal citizen. So it's not a state citizen any longer, but a federal citizen. So it's called a U.S. citizen, not a USA citizen. We're all, if you're born in a state up until then and you're a posterity community where it's not illegal to intermix, you're a USA citizen. So we're a full-blown natural-born American status citizen. So praise God for all of this truth. I will just do check out our website, keep in touch. We're gonna have several more. Thanks for helping us just kind of taste this new platform and get it going. And we'll have more of them coming up for you. You can send us a message at info@standrewsocc.org and let us know what you think. Take care and God bless you.